Long ago, in a village nestled between fertile lands and an ancient or sacred forest, lived two brothers whose destinies would be carved by a single choice, a choice between greed and respect, and between quick riches and patient wisdom. This is the tale of how the forest took its revenge when their father, a respected elder, lay dying. He called his sons, Obiora and Nnamdi, to his bedside. "My sons," the old man whispered, his voice like rustling leaves, "I leave you our family land, but remember the sacred forest at its edge is not ours to touch. The forest spirit, Eze Ohia, which means king of the forest, lives in there. Respect the forest, and you will prosper. Violate it, and you will face consequences beyond your understanding." The older brother, Obiora, scoffed quietly. He'd heard these old superstitions his whole life. But Nnamdi, the younger one, went back and bowed his head in a solemn promise. "We will honor your words, father," he said softly. 3 days later, their father was buried, and the brothers inherited the land. The land was good, but Obiora's eyes were drawn to the forest. "Look at all that timber," he said one morning. "We could sell those logs to the merchants from the coast. We would be rich, Nnamdi. Rich beyond our dreams." Fear gripped Nnamdi's heart, but he found his courage. "Brother, you know what father said, that forest is sacred. The elders speak of Eze Ohia, the forest guardian. We must not do this. Father said we should not. Foolish superstitions." Obiora interrupted. "There is no forest spirit. Only valuable wood would rot while we struggle." That afternoon, Obiora announced his plans to the village. Mama Ani, the oldest woman, stepped forward. "Obiora, do not do this," she warned, her voice trembling with urgency. "That forest has protected us for centuries. The forest remembers. Eze Ohia remembers." "Old woman, I respect you," Obiora replied coldly, "but times are changing. We need progress, not superstition." That night, Nnamdi couldn't sleep. Fear warred with duty. In their culture, challenging an elder brother was almost unthinkable, but his father's dying words echoed in his mind. He prayed for courage. At dawn, Obiora gathered hired men and tools. Nnamdi ran to the forest's edge to stop them. "Brother, please. I beg you," he pleaded, placing himself between Obiora and the trees. Though his voice shook, he stood his ground. "Give it time. Let us work the land we have. Patience and hard work will provide for us." Obiora pushed him aside roughly. "Move, little brother. You lack ambition. Stand aside while I make us wealthy." "It is not courage that drives you, brother," Nnamdi said quietly, his voice steady despite his fear. "It is greed, and I fear what will come of it." But Obiora wouldn't listen. The first axe strike rang through the morning air like a scream. The moment the blade bit into the ancient bark, the air grew heavy. The birds fell silent. Even the workers felt it a presence, watching. By afternoon, 3 of the oldest trees lay fallen. The workers were uneasy, but Obiora drove them on. Nnamdi returned to his small farm, his heart heavy with dread. All he could do now was work his own land with patience and pray. That night, as the village slept, the forest awakened. Eze Ohia, the ancient guardian, rose from the earth where the sacred trees had stood. Its form was terrible and beautiful, part tree, part spirit, with eyes glowing green. The forest spirit looked upon the destruction and spoke in a voice like wind through ancient branches. "The oath has been broken. He who struck the first blow shall reap what he has sown." When morning came, Obiora discovered everything he owned was dying. His crops were withered and brown. His goats fell sick. Even the timber he had cut had rotted overnight. "What is this?" he shouted, falling to his knees. But across the boundary line, Nnamdi's small farm flourished. His patient work was rewarded. His crops grew tall and healthy. Everything he touched prospered. The contrast was impossible to ignore. Desperate, Obiora ran to Mama Ani. "Please, help me. He cried, his pride broken. My land is cursed. The old woman looked at him with sad, knowing eyes. Did I not warn you, son? The forest takes what is old. You took from the sacred grove. Now it takes from you. What must I do? Obiora begged. How can I make this right? Only Eze Ohia can answer that, she said. That night, Obiora entered the sacred forest alone, his arrogance replaced by terror. He fell to his knees where the great trees had stood. Eze Ohia. He called, I beg forgiveness. I was foolish. I was greedy. The air grew cold. The spirit emerged, its voice like thunder. You knew the price. You were warned. You chose greed over respect. Your brother showed courage. You could not the courage to honor what is sacred. I was wrong. Obiora wept. Please give me another chance. The spirit was silent for a long moment. Then it spoke. Your brother showed respect, courage, and patience while you sought shortcuts. Therefore, I will offer you what you did not offer the forest. I will offer you mercy. Thank you. Obiora cried. But hear me well, the spirit continued. You will spend the next 7 years replanting every tree you cut. You will learn patience. You will learn respect. Only then will your curse be lifted. And so, Obiora began his penance. Day after day, year after year, he planted and tended young trees. His hands, once soft, grew calloused with honest work. His heart, once hard with greed, softened with understanding. Nnamdi, despite everything, came to help his brother. He worked beside him, patiently teaching him. You showed courage. Little brother, Obiora said one day, wiping sweat from his brow. You stood up to me even though you were afraid. Fear does not mean we should do nothing, Nnamdi replied gently. Sometimes courage means doing what is right even when we are terrified. 7 years passed. On the final day, Obiora planted the last tree. The young forest stretched before him, green and full of life. That night, Eze Ohia appeared one last time. You have learned. The spirit said, its voice softer now. The curse is lifted. May you never forget what the forest has taught you. From that day forward, both brothers prospered. Obiora's land healed. But he was changed, humble, patient, and a protector of the forest. And Nnamdi was known as the brother who dared to speak truth, who showed that respect and patience bring greater rewards than greed ever could. The sacred forest grew strong again, and the story teaches us that courage is not the absence of fear, but doing what is right despite it. That nature deserves our respect, that patience and hard work bring blessings that greed can never steal, and sometimes the forest's revenge is also its greatest mercy if we are willing to learn. Thank you for joining us for this tale. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories from around the world. Good night.